2019. Please note the presence of quorum for the record.
We do have a quorum.
Very good. Next up is meeting minutes from April 24th, 2019. Having had opportunity to read those minutes, are there any additions, corrections, or comments?
None?
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 24th meeting of the Westfield Board of Public Works and Safety.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of April 24th, 2019. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to contracts and agreements. Action item number 2, Ditch Road Extension, Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. Supplemental agreement number 3.
So as many of you know, State Road 32 and Ditch Road is a dangerous intersection, probably the most dangerous intersection in our city currently. We are doing a project to add turn lanes and to do some resurfacing on the south side of Ditch Road, starting up as soon as school is out. There's some utility relocation going on right now. We have been petitioning NDOT to put a signal in at that intersection for the better part of a year or more. Finally, they decided that it would be a good idea to put a signal there. The safety reasons alone warranted it. And some good news, they're actually working on an interlocal agreement to just give us the money to put this in our construction contract. So originally we were going to add the turn lanes, and then once NDOT got funding next year, they were going to come back in and put the poles and the signal heads up. That wasn't a great idea to us. We want the signal to go in right when the construction's done. They agreed. So they worked a little magic, and they decided to give us approximately $200,000 to add into our contract the poles and the signal head. It's going to cost us less than $200,000 for that material and work, so we're going to come out ahead on the deal. And then as a result, we needed to do a supplemental agreement with our consultant to actually do the signal design. The good news is there was about $8,000 in their contract for geotechnical work they didn't have to do. The signal design work was going to cost about $6,000. This is just a net plus $2,000 to the city of Westfield, just to clean up the scope in their contract. So
These guys are good.
we're reducing the overall amount we're paying BF&S by about $2,000.
And moving up the timeline.
Yeah, and the interlocal agreement is not finalized. It's going through their legal folks right now. But we're moving forward to get that in place. They should have a draft to us within the month or so, and we'll get that approved, and they'll send us the money to do it.
So we could have the signal up before school starts?
The goal is to have the signal up as soon as we're done with the construction of those turn lanes. There may be a week or two gap, but it's going to be pretty close. And the goal is to have it by school up, weather pending, all that good stuff.
That's tremendous news.
Yes.
And what about utility movement? How's
Utilities
that going?
have actually quite well. So Duke jumped on it once we prodded them a little bit, and they have gotten all their transmission lines relocated. I think they're finalizing distribution relocation now, so they're back on track. So that has been very helpful to get them moving on it.
Our next step there is Frontier, so they'll have to move as well. So we assume it'll go smoothly, but it may not, and if it doesn't,
And they've been
Why
very
would you
responsive
assume it would
recently.
go smoothly?
it's just history. Yeah.
My second favorite utility.
So this is
Great
one-
work all the way around.
Yeah, good
This
job.
will be very positively received.
Well, and credit also goes to Jennifer Beck, who's the project manager for NDOT. She was the one that was really responsible for working with their legal folks to get that agreement done.
That's good.
She's a big Westfield fan.
She is a Westfield resident, and she
know
takes
her.
care of us. Yes.
So to have her now permanently assigned to Hamilton and Tipton County instead of all these different people roving through there on their projects, this is very beneficial.
It is.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Good to have an ally.
Hope to tell you.
I would make a motion to approve action item number 2, Ditch Road Extension agreement number 3.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to approve action item number 2. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Great job.
Best news I've had all day. I'll
Yep.
tell you that. Action item number 3, Town Road 156 to 166, Inspection Supplemental Agreement number 1.
So this project has not gone as smoothly as that ditch road. Unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
So we were supposed to be done with this project at the end of the year last year.
$2,000.
as we progressed in the construction, we ran into some utility conflicts that hadn't been relocated, unfortunately. And so that put a delay for the contractor last fall.
Who was
We-
responsible for relocating the utilities?
It was a combination, so there was a water main that was in the wrong, well, there's a water main that was in conflict. The problem with that was that it was a new water line to feed the Bent Creek subdivision that was not there when we did the original design of the project.
Got it.
So on this project in particular, the main problems with the utilities have been new utilities going in to help support some of the development that's going on out there that just hadn't been in place when the plans were originally created.
So, but is there a way to learn from that and,
Yes.
Okay.
So not only are we changing our internal policies on that, I'm also working with NDOT to try to get them to adjust their utility coordination procedures to help add a question to. There's a form that you use for utility coordination. I'd like to see them add a question asking utilities to identify future utilities going in, because oftentimes this utility coordination process happens 2 to 3 years before construction. And in a growing community such as ours, you get new utilities in place after the original utility coordination was done. So I'm trying to get NDOT on board to add that question to their standard form. And that's an ongoing process. So that aside, there's some new utilities in conflict. We got those relocated. But as a result, last October, we looked at upcoming winter and we decided to stop the project. Basically, the southern portion was complete, but rather than closing the northern portion and risking it being closed over the winter time, we had the contractor pull off the site and come back this spring. So we're delayed by an additional 13 weeks of construction time. This is a supplemental to our consultant doing construction inspection to pay them for their additional 13 weeks of inspection time on this project that was not anticipated, unfortunately. So it's an amendment of $47,200 additional to our construction inspection consultant.
Discussion? Anything? Entertain a motion?
I'll make a move to accept this extension?
Second?
So a motion made, seconded to approve action item number 3, Town Road 156 to 166 inspection supplemental agreement number 1. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to action item number 4, payment in lieu of taxes agreement, City of Westfield and Options Charter School.
Charter school applied to develop at their location, however, they were located in an economic development area. And as you should know or might remember, they don't allow tax exempt uses in economic development areas. It's counterproductive. Unless they either get a variance, which they did not pursue, or agree with the administration for payment in lieu of taxes. And this is the agreement that the parties came into, just looking for an approval of it to move forward. If you scroll down, you can see the numbers they're paying.
Yeah.
Right there, 18,768. See,
Annually,
Yep.
perpetual?
yep,
You good, Todd?
Yes, sir.
Kate, anything?
No.
All right, entertain a motion on action item number 4.
So move?
Second?
Motion made and seconded to approve action item number 4, payment in lieu of taxes agreement, City of Westfield and Options Charter School. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Moved?
I'll second that. I have a motion made, seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to department reports. First up, fire.
This is the April report for fire. Couple things. One of the biggest things that I want to discuss, and not boring anybody with the statistics, it was a typical month for us, very similar to April of last year. We did, however, roll out a new program, and we're doing what we call engine referrals. And part of the community wellness community paramedic piece. So out of that, we've had 17 contacts since March 11th. And what we're trying to do is reduce the number of times that we receive additional calls after we make contact with these folks, do an educational piece. So out of the 17, 13 patients have not called us back. So we've helped them eliminate their issue or take care of their problem through education, whatever it was. We've had 3 patients call again, and we've been back out there to assist them, and 1 patient calling us 3 times for various reasons.
So, Rob, these are incidents that you were initially involved in?
Yes, so these, we get dispatched to Mrs. Smith Fell, and we take care of Mrs. Smith, put her back in her chair, and our folks there ask a series of questions. You know, hey, would you like us to come back out and visit? We've got some educational pieces that we'd love to go over with you. Make some
Why do you
medicines,
have a
why you're
throw
tripping
rug
over
on
your
the floor?
rug.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all of those things. And those that are not causing injury or need of medical transport, that's these 17. Okay, and so they get in a habit of, when they don't know what to do, they call 911, and we go out there and help them. So if I can send our folks, community paramedicines out there the next day or within 48 hours or whatever, and say, you know, it's a whole lot less expensive, wear and tear on fire trucks, we're sending someone out in an SUV, hey, we're here today, we've pre-arranged an appointment, we just want to talk to you, a little education and stuff like that. And so out of the 17 contacts that we've had, it's faring very well.
Good.
Doing good things.
Like it.
That was the biggest piece that I had.
Good stuff.
Hey, I want to ask something that really involves public works and police and fire, and if you can be school a minute. As some of you know, I'd received a very nicely written letter from a young lady in North Glen, very graciously complaining about the streets in there, which are not public streets. However, I did drive through there, and they are of third world quality. And I know Gary is working on something, but I would like for all these departments to be involved. In Brian, I don't know what legalities we have. I mean, obviously, we are mandated to provide services, be it police, medical, school bus
buses,
pickup.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't drive my personal vehicle, even my yellow Jeep, I wouldn't drive it through there. I mean, it is terrible. And I don't know how you drive buses through there without problems. So Gary, I think, has started the initial response or action. And Brian, I don't know what we can do to mandate private property, but
That's a different kind of business, but generally when we have businesses that are in places without good road service, we threaten to cut off emergency services unless they can provide a safe place to travel, and we'll notify their insurance company. That
So it's
usually
an-
gets them moving.
It's an HOA issue, is that what?
Yeah, it's
They're
private
not
roads,
city,
just
yeah.
like your driveways,
Yeah.
they're good.
it's not, I don't think it's HOA, it's a.
It's,
It's
It's
a,
a-
It is
It's
owned.
it's an ownership.
an
A
ownership.
person
Oh, I see what you're
owns that,
saying, yes.
and they rent out
Right, North Glen.
space.
I'm
that-
sorry,
That
yeah.
community is under new ownership as of about 3 months ago. I met with the new ownership, and they came to me and actually said this is not nearly up to our standards, and they are working with Public Works on an improvement plan for those roads. So there's also some drainage concerns as well. So I've brought in Wes Rude to work with them on some
Definitely.
drainage.
Okay,
So they are aware of the issue, and they are actively working towards improving that. What
Right.
they were talking about doing was a full resurface of those roads. I'm not sure that that's going to cut it from a long-term perspective, but some reconstruction areas as well as some drainage improvements will probably go a long way. But I do want to point out that they're actively working towards
Well,
improvement there.
I'm glad you said that then, because I'd like for you to get with Gary and see, I don't need the city left-hand, right-hand stuff here.
Yeah.
So if you guys would coordinate your efforts and you be aware of what we're doing, I will write the young lady back that we're working on it then. Thank you.
The other thing that we can do is we can dispatch a pothole crew out there and,
You don't have enough asphalt.
well, we would have a dump truck load, but if necessary. I mean, the last thing we want is an ambulance not being able to get back there and
We
it's breaking down.
went through the facility last week.
Okay.
We drove through and looked at it, and Gary's got a list.
Okay,
Tree trimming,
sure.
is a lot of that list as well, besides just the road, so. Gary's got a list.
Is there any plan to, this is over here somewhere, but is there any future state plan of adding an ambulance at 83?
I would say there are future needs to change some current staffing models, and that may include adding another ambulance, either peak times or at a different location.
Okay.
If we didn't have so many calls to Emmy, we wouldn't need it.
That's why I was asking.
I figured.
Someone should be in charge of safety over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
they even
it's
have
out-
stabbings.
It's out of control. Well, that's on record. Yeah, it was like the last time that we had somebody having a heart attack that wasn't really having a heart attack.
So you didn't really need an ambulance.
No, we thought we did. But Noblesville came because they were both out.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me that, of the fact that we have 2 and for 3 stations, and I don't know if it's even necessary or not, but assuming with all the,
It's one of those when we look at the numbers, just something we just have to sit down and look at and discuss long term. I mean, you can, statistics will tell us whatever we want it to believe.
yeah,
And it's one of those things that, yeah, we do occasionally, frequently get multiple runs, and somebody else comes in and provides a service, and it's shared likewise.
Right.
In the report, look at the mutual aid statistics,
Mhm.
and that tells you how many times we reciprocate.
And it normally balances out
Yeah.
the times that we help and they help and whatnot. But and then I see the charts of how many calls we make to the assisted living places, and it, it's higher all the time. And it seems like at some point it may
So
double.
one thing, we've worked with some partnering agencies and developed just an Excel spreadsheet. We can punch some numbers in, and we have an approximation of, hey, here's an impact for an assisted living facility in our community for our agency, and the number of runs, and just based on our past history, stuff like that, there's an impact, right? So it's an impact calculator. And we're doing it for subdivisions, apartment buildings, and assisted living facilities. So this is an ask from the fire department. When those things are coming in the early stages, let's sit down and have a brief discussion and throw some numbers in so we can look and make an educated guess on, hey, if that comes into our facility, the likelihood of it affecting us and what we do is this. We can put some numbers to that.
And I assume that gets looked at TAC committee when
It doesn't, that's why I'm bringing it up,
okay.
you know.
Okay.
just-
All right. That was my question.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Chief Rush?
Yes, just a couple things.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's good to be back. So at 2 o'clock, we're celebrating Bob Mitchell's retirement. Having a party for him after something like 33 years of police service, and 15 here, 15 at Frankfurt, and I think he left the state for a couple years and was a police officer in like Wisconsin or something too. But anyway, we're doing that too. In the training room, if anyone wants to come by, they can. His replacement, Josh Adley, who you've already approved, he'll start on Tuesday, his first day. After that, we're looking at still needing to hire 5 more people this year, which we don't have any names yet. Scott and I, we interviewed somebody just today even, just weeding through our list. But we're thinking that we're gonna have to, do another process this year. It'll probably be just a lateral, nationwide search, looking for qualified police officers already, just to speed up our manpower. So other than that, I mean, that's probably a main priority right now. Other than everything else we got going.
Really?
Yeah, other than that stuff.
Thank you. Public Works.
Yeah, John kind of updated you on a couple projects that we have going on. We have a tentative schedule on placing of the bridge trusses for the Monon Bridge, which we're looking at like June 17th and that week.
So June 24th. Now we had an update meeting yesterday. They are pushing that back a week.
So we pushed that back a week to June 24th. We finished up our two playground safety surface improvement projects last week. So Simon Moon and Freedom Trail playgrounds are both back open. I personally think they're great and look nice. So other than that, we're heavy into road maintenance when it's not pouring down rain. So crack seal and potholes.
When will you be doing our resurfacing work?
Do you know the exact schedule? Last I talked to Dustin, we're probably still looking at 4 to 6 weeks out from start time. They had 160 days, I think, to complete that as part of
But it's
that
all
program.
contracted.
It is
Yeah.
contracted and ready to go, yeah.
Splash Park's opening up.
Yeah,
Right.
they're doing testing right now, starting it up, make sure nothing broke over the winter time, and yeah, it'll open officially on Friday.
We've stirred the pond up this week, so you gotta be good to go.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else?
Do you have to mention that kiosk thing or anything?
We can, yeah. There's a ribbon cutting for our new, as kind of a partnership between Parks, Public Works, and the IT department. There's an interactive kiosk going in at
Grand
it's Greyhound Pass, so at the trailhead, the Monon Trailhead at Greyhound Pass. It's going to be pretty neat. So they're doing a ribbon cutting next Tuesday on that. It's kind of our long-term plan of what our trailheads will have, which is a map where people can touch the screen and search and look for different things, and there'll be opportunity for advertisement. And plus, there's a medical component on it, so there's like an emergency button and an AED. And
Is there a camera on it?
that I don't know.
We need to make sure there is.
There is a camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I thought there
kind of
was.
an emergency station, but also an interactive user station. It's bright lime green, so nobody can miss it.
It's on the north side of Greyhound, or is it on the south side where the
It's on the
signage
south side
is?
at the trailhead, yeah. So assuming this all goes well, we were probably gonna deploy these in various locations along the Monon to start out. We talked about one at Grand Park and one at the landing, either north or south landing of the bridge, where the Midland and the Monon come together. So step one of a bigger plan, but anything.
In our stretch of the Monon that is within your jurisdiction, do we see much criminal activity there that's reported?
You're gonna make me talk about it, aren't you? No.
Okay.
But as soon as I say that, we have
You
something.
know what's gonna happen.
Right. Sorry I asked.
Don't ask,
Well, I know, further down south there's been things, but.
but that's south.
Right.
We don't allow it up here.
We don't allow crime.
Do you have one of those signs that says, no crime allowed on Sundays or whatever? Yeah.
No. And knock on wood. We've been really fortunate
Yeah.
that we haven't had a lot of crime on Monon.
Good prevention.
It's good. It's because you guys are on it. That's why.
Can't get north of 96th Street.
Okay, if there's no further business,
Move to adjourn.
second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Kim.
Opposed?
Thank you, Kim.
Opposed?
Thank you, Kim.
Opposed?